My loves, I am delighted to introduce you to the Festival Fantasia series, and there are 6 kits in this series. Let's have a look at them. They all go together in exactly the same way, so the tutorial that follows will just take you through one kit and they all go together the same way. This is the fortune teller tent, and as you can see it pops up very similar in construction to my book nooks in different proportions. They're narrow and wide. You can't see very well on the video, I don't think. Maybe you can what's going on there. There's 3 layers in each of these kits. So you get the front, then you get 3 layers in the middle, and then you get the back. And you've got these 2 girls with the crystal ball and the tarot cards on a table, and this lovely fortune teller sitting behind, and they look like they're calling down their ancestors prior to their reading. I love that. And they all fold, all these kits fold, so they're mailable like that. The next one we'll look at is gelato. The gelato stall, I love this one. Everything's got a decorated back as well, and in this one we've got a layer of gelato. We've got this lovely hippie guy. I don't know if you can see his hat in there, but he's got gelato in his headband, and then behind him we've got some stands of gelato, and behind him the actual back wall of the stand that folds like that. Let's have a look at the Circus of Curiosities. This one was the first one I made, and it really tickles me. You've got this lovely guy in the front with his elaborate costume. There's 2 people behind him. There's a woman with a bird and a child or a teen on a ball here, and then right at the back, I think you'll struggle to see her, there's an eccentric lady on a moon and a lovely stage behind. And the lovely thing about these as well is that they're so detailed that you have to really look at them to find all the details, and some of the details are hidden. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Next up we've got the chai tea tent. Really like this one, it really appeals to me, and this one opens as the others do. We've got this old hippie fella here enjoying his cup of tea, very peaceful, and we've got a young woman here doing the same. There's little low tables with chai tea and Indian inspired teapots. There's a lady here behind reading her book, and behind her again there's the actual beautiful Maharaja inspired stand with all the cakes and chai teas on. I don't quite know what you can see in there, but it's all very, very lovely. And next up we've got the clothes stall, and we've got on the first layer here, we've got this cutout obviously on the front. First layer we've got this lovely lady who's selling her wares. We've got a lady trying on one of the items. Then we've got a rail of clothes and a peekaboo behind that, and we've got clothes on both sides, and all of these pieces are decorated on the back as well. And finally we've got the main stage. Look at these guys. They have been doing the circuit for a long, long time, and they are Deep Joy. Let's call them Deep Joy, the band. So there we are, there's the main stage, and these 3 guys absolutely rocking it on the main stage. So there we are, my loves. I hope you'll come with me and enjoy this, a fabulous, fabulous journey into Festival Fantasia. Let's go and have a look how they're constructed. So here are my bits and bobs cut out for the main stage. All the kits go together in the same way. Little point me going through each one of them because I'll just be repeating myself. And once you've got the hang of one, you'll know how to do the rest of them. So I'm on 250 gram throughout. You get a reverse printing page, which is usually, in most of the kits, it's this kind of canvas hessian. There are a couple of exceptions to that, and you'll see them in the individual kits. Right, each kit has got a back, and everything's got these tabs down the sides. You've also got another panel which looks very similar to the back, and it hasn't got the tabs, and that is to be stuck on the very, very back of the project, like this one here. Then we have got a front again with tabs, and then you've got 3 sections to go in the inside. Let me show you from the top down. You can see 1, 2, 3 sections on the inside to be your pop-ups. And have a look at these pieces, have a play about with them, see which way round they need to go. It's quite logical when you start playing with them. They're going to sit behind there like that. Then you get 2 side panels with lines on, and you get 2 side panels with some kind of decorative whatnot on, and they are for the outside. And you also get, on most of the kits, not all of them, you also get this little bob here, and that is a reinforcing panel. You don't need it, but it's just a little bit of extra, and that's going to glue behind your front panel there. Right, let's make a start. The first thing we need to do is we're going to be working from the back to the front. We're going to score these tabs, and we're going to be doing that for every page, so why don't we go ahead and get those scored now. These kits are inspired by a lovely little festival I went to recently called the Green Gathering, near Crickhowell in South Wales, and it's all solar powered. It's kind of one of the last festivals of its kind that's small. It hasn't been taken over by corporations. It's just lovely. It's all off grid, really nice. So I spent a week living in a field in my camper van, being inspired by all the eye candy I saw there, and this is the result. Right, we've got our bits. Let's move these out of the way. Everything's scored. I'm going to fold my tabs inwards for this back section here, and you can see I'm a little bit off. I'm not too concerned about that. Be as accurate as you can. Obviously on a small scale, when you're building box type structures, the more accurate you are, the better your finished result is going to be. But we do also have ink, which covers up any of those little white sins. Oh right, I've done that the wrong way to start with. You're folding these inwards, there, like that, and then you're getting your 2 pieces that have got the lines on, putting the lines towards the printed section, grabbing your glue, gluing this white tab, and folding this over, butting this piece up against this fold, making sure, the most important thing to me is that these bottoms are lined up, because it's going to stand up and you don't want it all wobbly. You want all the bottom pieces to be singing the same song. And the same with this one. You're turning this over so the lines are facing the printed section of your back piece. Bit of glue on there. Butt that up against your fold. You're folding this over. There, like that. And you've begun to make this box form. We'll give that a moment to dry and we'll move on to the front. We're going to fold these tabs. My scoring is off today. Let's see how we go. I'm going to be making a trapezium at this rate. There we go, we're scoring those to the back. And I'm going to remember to stick this one on now. Like I say, it doesn't come with all the kits, comes with most of them. I've put it really where I've had a space on the page, and I've been able to. And the only purpose for this is to be a little bit of reinforcement for that top section. You don't need it. They look great without it. This one hasn't got one, and it's behaving perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So stick this one on here like this. If it'll go. In between your folds, if you need to snip a little tiny bit off those edges, go ahead and do that. Might do that. That'll come back to haunt me if I don't, I think. It's just because you've got the fold in the other piece that's taking up just a whisker of room. There we go, that'll do fine. So there's your front. Right, we'll put that to one side and we'll move on to the actual 3D pop-up elements themselves. All of these tabs here you're going to fold behind. With this particular kit, you can put the back two pop-ups. Let's have a look at this. Easier to show you than try and say it in words. Fold that one over first. Yeah, these guys are interchangeable. Doesn't really matter if you have him or him first. It doesn't make a lot of difference. But on most of the kits, just have a look, have a play about and see which order you want the pieces to go in. It'll usually be quite logical. Right, so we're going to begin by taking the piece that we're going to have at the back. We're working from the back to the front. We've got our tabs folded behind. We're going to flip this over, glue on one of the tabs. You can work on this side first if you want to, doesn't matter. And I'm going to pop this against this first line here, making sure, again, it's important to me that all my bottoms, oh gosh, are lined up. She said smearing the whole thing across the page. There we go. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing with the other two pieces. So flip your piece, pop your glue on the tab, lining this up. I've got the wrong one. I want the middle one first. And some of these tabs are different lengths. So just line them up with your next line, making sure that your bottom is nice and lined up. There, like that. And the third one, which is already glued, is your front piece. Now next up comes your actual front panel, and you've got two choices here. It actually doesn't make a lot of difference which way around you do it. You can glue that the same way as we've glued the others, button it up to the edge, or you can, I'll do it this way, you can glue it to the outside and fold it round like that. Really doesn't make any difference at all. Let's have a look where that goes me. I'm going to go on the inside. In either case, you're likely to end up, let me show you here, with a little white edge here, which you can ink, absolutely no problem at all. So I'm going to stick that in exactly the same way as I stuck the others, making sure it's butted up to the edge. Now the next thing I'm going to do, and this is the magic, is I'm going to glue all of these pieces together. By together I mean at one time. A seam of glue down there. A seam, it's not a seam, it's a squiggle. A squiggle of glue down all of these tabs, making sure you only glue the white tabs. You don't want to be getting glue anywhere else. And then the magic happens when we fold this piece down over the top. And you can see I've got this slight little bit of white here. That's fine. If I'd been perfect in my scoring, that wouldn't have happened. But the reality is that most of us will not be perfect in our scoring, and I'm going to stick that down. But whilst it's still wet, I'm going to pop it up because I want to make sure that glue hasn't splurged out and is gluing something I don't want it to glue. So very gently and gingerly, because that glue is still wet, I'm going to open that out, and it's worked fine. And I'm going to check from the top to see that my pieces are sitting where I want them to be, and they are. If you're feeling bold, you can squish this over. Sometimes it'll work beautifully, and in this instance it has. Other times, let's see if I can find one that isn't folding quite flat for me. I think this one maybe. Sometimes, oh no, I'm doing all right with that one. Sometimes it won't fold quite flat for you, okay? And you might get a little bit of wrinkle and it doesn't want to go. Rather than force it, I think it's, oh, there you go, look. Can you see what I mean? It's kind of wrinkling that way now. Now that I've made it fold that way nicely and it's happy that way, it's not very happy that way. And that's fine. I'm just going to accept that it folds one way better than the other. And what I've also got here is a little tiny bit of excess where I folded it, and I'm going to trim that off. Now these little anomalies happen because of the inaccuracies in our scoring. Everything in the kits is absolutely spot on to, you know, 1/10 of a millimetre. It's all very, very accurate, the way it's designed. But we're human beings and we don't do everything down to that tiny, tiny, tiny little scale. So I like to show you, you know, that we're human. These slight things are absolutely fine. Look, and that's now working now, almost. Oh no, it's still doing that. There we go. So that is how that goes together. Now then, we've got a couple of extra pieces to do. We've got our side panels. So I'm going to glue these. Pick it up and stick it on, making sure I've got it the right way up. Doesn't matter which side you put on which side, they're both the same. Same the other way. And stick that down, letting that buckle a little bit over there. There we go, and we've also got the back section, so I'll fold it to where it's the most comfortable, turn this over and glue me back in place. And you will find that you've got these little pale edges. They're so easily taken care of. Take your edge, get a little bit of ink on there, and there you go. It's disguised and you've given it that grunge edge. Now if you want to ink your edges, my dears, before you begin putting these pieces together, absolutely feel free to do that. Now I've chosen not to. As you will know from my other videos, I'm a big lover of ink. Absolutely love what ink does to a piece. But in this instance I've decided not to, and my reason for that is quite nice. It's because, my dears, it's because you can see I've inked these pieces now and I've lost that little bit of white there that I wanted to lose. When I was looking at these pieces, I don't know if it comes across on this video, but I can see them in different lights. Leaving this cut white edge of paper in certain lights makes them look like they're illuminated, slightly illuminated, and I really like that for this project. So that's why I haven't inked my pieces, but if you want to ink your pieces, go for a bit of a heavier grunge look, by all means, please do. And we are done. That's how they go together. They look absolutely fabulous. There's 6 of them. I hope you gift them. I hope they're beautifully received. Display them. They'd make great book nooks. Just take up more room, and so they should, because they are absolutely glorious. And if you have the know-how and you want to make minis out of these and reduce them, then do that. Who doesn't love a mini? Have a great time with these. Hope you love them, and I will see you next time.